can tell me the pattern first? Not the next number, but the pattern. What happened between 2 and 12? Who can tell me? Clap for him, all of you. They what? They added 10. Then we have 65. Now, okay, who can tell us what happened here? Something happened here. Clap for her. Numeracy is one of the key factors that enables anyone to navigate his mind through logical reasoning. Numeracy on its own is a skill. It actually gives you that patience in life. It gives you what we call the perseverance. You are calm, follow things gradually, think through it, and get it done. The first time I applied to University of Jos, I didn't actually get admission the first year, but my dad told me every disappointment is a blessing. I never take that for granted. I went back, I studied more, and the second attempt, I got admitted into University of Jos, and I was given mathematics. While I was in University of Jos, we normally have a session with kids who are having difficulty with numeracy, giving them one-on-one tutorials. However, the main idea behind the Numeracy Aid Foundation started effectively when I went to AIMS, African Institute for Mathematical Sciences, Ghana. My journey to Mastercard Foundation begins when I was at AIMS. I led all the activities that ought to do with Mastercard Foundation. One key core of Mastercard Foundation Scholars program is to give back to the community, and that's why we're bringing it down to Nigeria. The vision of Numeracy Aid Foundation is to remove numeracy phobia in children. Generally, we realize a lot of students actually fail mathematics, and that actually hindered them from, pursuing their careers in the university. One key thing about numeracy phobia begins with teachers of the numeracy. They actually instill that phobia because they tell you, you cannot do this because a child maybe mistakenly failed. So what we try to do, we try to tell the parent at home, they should try as much as possible to motivate the kid. Even though they don't feel comfortable with numeracy, they should try and make the kid understand that nobody in this world could not do anything. It all depends on what you actually put your mindset on. The process of Numeracy Aid Foundation is basically in 3 stages. Stage 1 is we find out a school, talk to the principal, have a certain agreement and a consent from them. Then the next line of action will be to administer what we call the baseline. The baseline here will be some few questions, about 10 to 15, will be administered to the kids. We now fish out those people that actually perform less. We now move ahead to the second stage where we now give them the basic drills in 2 weeks. After the first week, we give them what we call the midline, where we now test their performance. After the second week, we now give them the end line, where we now test their own ability, and we'll be able to see a kind of a pattern. Oftentimes we see growth, but whether you get it wrong or right, we tell you can do better. It's actually a gradual process. We don't force kids to do everything, so that they should be able to navigate their minds themselves. After the end line, one key thing we realize is that these kids normally perform better. Some of the students we are working with currently are at the age of 7, but they are now solving problems that are at the secondary level. So far, Numeracy Aid Foundation has worked with over 600 kids, and we have over 30 volunteers. When we started with them, they find it difficult to do little arithmetic, but before we finish our program, we realized that it gives them the ability to stand out boldly whenever you ask them to do any concept, present to them. It means these are children that could actually solve some of the problems that are facing the country or the world entirely in some years to come.